1, 2, 1, 2. What's up, man?
Yes. Jay Swift, the producer of the legendary Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde, and a lot of people don't know where you've been, so please fill us in.
Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's Jay Swift, man. Like he said, I'm a former member of the Pharcyde. Yes, I produced the first album. And rest in peace to Jay Dilla, who followed up on the Lab Cabin. I had to throw that in because that's one of my contemporaries, and it's one of all of our favorites. You know what I mean? But I've been at work. You know what I mean? I did a bunch of things since then. I worked with Massive Attack. I worked with the Outlaws. I worked with Shaka Khan, with Prince. But I got an album I put out in 2018, The Adventures of Negro Knievel. You know what I mean? Starring me, Jay Swift, and my alter Negro, which is Negro Knievel. And I brought on L.A.J. on board. He produced Other Fish on Bizarre Ride. It's my man. We've been down since teens. And most recently, I just put out my new single. It's called J. Tovin Opus 846. And the video's out on YouTube, and the single's out on, so it's everywhere. It's iTunes, Spotify,
Can you
name it.
Can you send me that link on Facebook's Messenger while we're on the phone right now?
Oh, for 846?
For the new single.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. Let me back it up real quick while I'm on the phone with you.
Right on. Nope.
But
thank you.
that's I've been really getting a lot of good response on that. So give me a sec and I'll throw it down for you so that y'all can check it out.
We'll check it out after we get off the phone.
Yeah. My man Adam, man, just playing for them cats.
Okay.
Give me a sec. Send it to you.
All right.
Okay, here I got it.
All right.
Copy the link.
All right. I want to thank you first of all, before we continue anymore, very much for joining us today on HipHopPhilosophy.com radio. I already get the feeling that you feel right at home here at the station. I think that Spinz probably filled you in enough for you to know that this is a radio station that was built for artists such as yourself who make the best music in the world that's not really going to get played on the radio, you know?
Word. Radio's not that's not my focus. You know, my get down is the underground. I started from the bottom and I keep it moving, and I don't forget the bottom because the bottom is where the real is, you know?
Yes, sir. You are obviously one of a kind on your own level in many ways. We are the type of fans who recognize you as that. You know, you're incomparable. You know, you're on your own level in the Hall of Fame. You have your own original sound and style, and it is the personification or exemplification of the evolution of good new music. I don't want to even just put it in the box of hip hop, just in the art of sampling and chopping, looping, and adding original elements that give the old elements that you're using a new life, an original artistic content that makes it not biting, that makes it, artistically dignified enough to not be biting.
Right, and I appreciate that because that's one of the number one rules. And I grew up on KRS and Rakim and all them, and KRS especially to me, he's a very special individual because he's touched millions of cats. And I'm just speaking in America. Let's not even count the rest of the world. I've been on tour with him, and it's a mutual respect thing. But he's done a lot. He's given me a lot of insight, a lot of advice over the years, and he'll never be whacked. Like he said, we'll be here forever. That includes me, you, and all the cats that's listening right now.
Are you aware that I have BDP tattooed on my right arm?
Nah, man, but that's big. You see what I'm saying? I call myself, and theology, some people don't want to get down with it, but that's their own thing. But I call myself a quantum Christian because I believe that's quantum right there. You know what I mean? The fact that you got that tat and that's my man, Chris Parker, and he took me as a friend, you know what I mean? Then as a B-boy, because we're all B-boys and B-girls, everybody that's out there, and it's all about being consistent, man. And if you love the art, then you'll keep consistency, man.
Consistency.
I know you're an LA breaker, and that's a big thing for me because, you know, I'm an LA cat myself, you know?
Well, I'll tell you more about my history with KRS-One. I have a very bittersweet history with KRS-One that dates back to obviously the beginning. I'm from the '81 era, and the LA Breakers recognize me as an '81 era original, genuine B-boy who never fell off because I make them dance. And I don't only just make them dance, but I make them do new moves with the music that I play, the way that I paint with sound. I'm an auditory graffiti artist, so I relate to the graffiti artists and the B-boys more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make them do new things with the ways that I paint with sound. I'm going to inspire them, and that's the way they inspire me to do what I do. It's like, you know, it's like the art of getting better with time. It's like martial arts. It's a fine art.
Right, man. That part right there.
And that's the way I've always seen it. And I never let anything change that. And I've always considered the art, you know, in the industry different. You know, the arts and the culture are, to me, the opposite of the industry or the game. So, like, I never even liked the way that the mass media used the word rap for hip hop music. I never went along with that. I never thought it was a good thing, so I avoided it, and I just called hip hop music. So I never liked Yo MTV Raps. I never liked a lot of things that people thought was dope.
Right.
I was like, no, this is not. This is the hip hop. This is hip hop getting raped by the industry.
Right. Exactly. And I'll tell you this much, man. I'm glad you put a point on that because they kind of started that wedge. But I look at it like this, and I'm going to tell you this, and what do I know? What I know is that I know nothing. I consider myself a master of today and a student of tomorrow. Like, I got to enroll tomorrow, my niggas, so we only got so much time on this interview.
All right, well, check this out. You have a lot of dope new music coming.
No, I'm kidding with that. You know what I'm saying, though?
Okay.
We always got to be willing to evolve. You know what I'm saying, my nigga?
Evolution is the opposite of de-evolution, and that is one of our focuses here on the station, is we try to avoid the de-evolution and the game that people play with that, and just stay in tune with the artists who are adding on to the culture of getting better with time. You know, I find examples since I was born in '73 to now that and proof that hip hop only gets better. So anybody saying that hip hop got whack or that everything, all the new shit is whack, they don't even know. They don't have no idea where to go or where to look. And I try to build a resource, but only the chosen ones, only the ones who were born able to even get it, will find their way to it. And there's a lot of us. They may not be a large percentage. We may ever be the majority, but it doesn't. That's not what we were meant to be, and that's okay with me.
Right. And I'll tell you this much because look, cats like us and cats that's out there and whoever's listening. And I'll say it like this. Look, there's billions of people on this earth, all right? And out of all those people, you can fit everybody that's dope in sports in the Staples Center. You can fit everybody that's dope in hip-hop, and I say hip-hop, in the Staples Center. Any genre you take. And that means that this is a true gift from God, you know what I mean? And when it comes to rap, I'll tell you like this. Versus hip-hop, I look at those cats. Rap to me is the pop of hip hop, and hip hop is the underground. It's the foundation of where they get to do their thing. You know, everybody has to play their lane. I used to look at it like, man, these rap heads, but them cats, they're supposed to do that because there's an audience for everybody. But you can be how my wife put it, you can be someone who is this is what you do. Someone comes to you, for instance, she's a hairstylist and stuff, and they ask for a certain style and she does it, okay? And then there's cats like me who we don't do it per order. We're not in the industry of here, make this like this because this is hot. We make what we make, and we make it because we coming from the heart and the underground and the b-boys and even the people who it takes them time because our stuff is a little bit more intricate. It's just a lot more intricate to be precise, because I'm not gonna hold nothing back. You gotta stay on your point. Like, I stay loving hip-hop, so I stay studying hip-hop, because once you think you know everything, that's when you just stop growing.
Word.
And, you know what I mean? Word. And it's a constant evolution. You know, my son just turned 25 2 days ago. I got a 21-year-old.
Me
and
too.
My 21-year-old, he's the one that took the mantle rapping. And I told him, look, just because you're my son, that don't mean I'm fucking with you. You got to show me something. And the cat, he came down with some cuts that totally, I heard him and I said, you know what? Now that's dope. Because just because you're Jay Swift's son, that don't mean that Jay Swift is going to back you. You got to track your own path. And that's what I say to people that's listening and they get down with cats like you, and they depend. We rely on cats like you. People rely on Jay Swift, on my style. That's why I've been offered remixes from Soulja Boy to all kind of cats. Things that, look, if it's organic, I don't have, people try to put me in a frame. They'll say, oh man, so how do you feel about trap? You don't like trap? No. I love anything that's dope. If that's what you do, then I'll do it. I don't have anything against trap. When I do something and it's organic, then it's real. And it will have its own blend. Like my son, I'm busting on a cut with him. It's going to be coming out soon. I'm not even going to just put it out there yet, but it's on a trap tip. Something that I normally wouldn't do, but because it grew organic, it then gives it another different life. Cats, be like this, then the other. No, you can't get me to say I don't like this or I don't like that. If you come in dope, the rule is dope. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's the only rule I follow.
There's exceptions to every rule. There's exceptions. There's rules. There's exceptions to every rule.
Exactly. That part.
There is. I mean, I've played one beat that particularly rang out to me. I identified it quickly as a trap style of beat that was dope. And I also have a young homie named Product who made one song with auto-tune that made my mix. It's just
right.
It can be done.
Right. You feel me, dog? People be trying to say, "Are you against auto-tune? Are you against?" No, I'm against whackness.
I'm against 99.999% of the music I ever heard with auto-tune. But I'm not against auto-tune. As long as you can do it dope and make it sound fresh, I can't deny that.
Right. And let me just say it just for y'all, for the people listening. My son, his handle is Omari God, all right? And the cat is on fire. He's 21 years old.
Please spell that so we can find them. Spell that out. Spell that for us.
OMARIGOD. Omari God. Okay?
On Instagram?
So, yeah, he's on Instagram.
All right,
Omari God, that's my son.
Add Jay Swift's son. Yeah, add Jay Swift's son. Check him out. Let me know how he sound. I gotta know.
Yeah. And after this, you're gonna send me that link because I'm gonna send it to my son, and then he can send you a link to his thing.
Word.
And
yeah,
I know you, man. You only going by the gold standard. It's got to be high up, top notch. Feel me?
Well, you set the standard, my brother. I can't settle for less because I find something that's always that good. I never gave up and quit because people like you were doing it when people thought there wasn't people doing it like that no more. So I can't give up. I can't give in. I can't concede, conform, or comply with less. There's no reason to. There's always something
right.
else. I never heard it all, and it boggles my mind. It freaks me out sometimes when I realize that I'll never hear it all. There's a whole world of amazing music that I've never heard, and it enables me and empowers me to do a new mix, only playing music that I never played for over 2,000 weeks in a row, and here we are. I'm about to do it again after we get off the phone with you right now. So you're in a place
right.
you're in a place that was,
and it has to be able to link in with, like, if it's on a dope level, you can go through like an Odd Future or a Kendrick Lamar all the way to Rakim in the mix, and you know what? It's seamless, even though it's all different type of styles. You feel me?
I've played maybe one Kendrick Lamar song in my life, and maybe one or two Odd Future songs, and so I can't say I never played it. You know, they may have made one song in their life, and if I find it and I like it, I'll put it in the mix. But those artists are usually those artists are usually something I can count on. Like, as time goes on, like when they came out, they might have made a song too, but when they get a little money and fame, it's over.
Right. Well, look, I'll tell you another one. Joey Badass.
A little
that
money,
cat,
it was over. A little money and fame, and it was over.
That Joey Badass, that cat, he's somebody who, to me, and I've checked him, and my sons put me up on him. I said, man, that cat, look, and ASAP Rocky, look, like you said, if you got only one song, and that song conforms with what dopeness is as far as the laws of hip-hop, like KRS with his book, The Gospel of Hip-Hop, which breaks it all down. I had to just promote that because it's amazing. You know what I mean? He is truly the teacher.
Let me say something about that real quick.
If you got one cut that fits in like that, to me, you've made it. You know what I'm saying? B-boys like me and you get in like that, and then it's a wrap after that. What you want to do after that, that's on you. But for people that rely on real hip-hop, not rap, not the pop construct, that's all I'm saying.
I'm more of a guy who likes to keep up with the guy who's doing it now, and if you ain't doing it no more, you ain't doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk about hip hop if you don't do it no more. If you putting out whack albums since the '90s, don't talk about hip hop. I'm not listening to you. I don't got an ear for you if the music and the albums you're putting out are whack. And that's KRS-One after I Got Next. Everything KRS-One put out after I Got Next is a nightmare to any real fan that I know. We can't listen to it. It's the saddest, worst experience in the world because he fell off. He did everything he said he wouldn't do. He became a crossover artist. He's trying to cross over to everybody who don't want to hear that real shit.
Let me tell you something. It's ebbs and flows, man. Look, I've been very protective over my collection, and anybody can check out my discography. And it's damn near above reproach because I've had to just step back certain times. I knew I wasn't at my peak, and I would have done that. I can't speak for what I can tell you that me being alongside of that cat and seeing it, I know what you're talking about.
I've been by his side for many times too, many times.
Right, but if you're staying in it like he is, because he's so prolific.
Staying in it is putting out good music. When you put out whack albums. When you put out a whack album, it's over, bro. That's it. When you lose it, it's lost, and it ain't coming back. LL Cool and Busta Rhymes all taught us that.
Yeah. Look, I can tell you that, and believe me, I'm fans of the old LL and Busta and all these cats. But I'm gonna tell you, as long as they got blood pumping in their veins and they love it, everybody is open to redemption.
Well, I just gotta say, when
there's ain't no telling with LL, he's an actor and all that.
We have a big difference of opinions and reality on a lot of things about that. So, but I'm not trying to dig too deep into that. You know, I just feel like we have. I just feel like when artists fall off, there's artists who are currently adding on, evolving the culture, proving and showing with examples and. That it only gets better, and artists that are out there giving in, conceding, conforming to whack, what I call rap on whack beats. These artists are not on the map. They're not even relative anymore. They're not relevant. They fell off. They're out of touch. They're yesterday. They're has-beens. And a lot of them, and most of them, I don't even know if it was really them. It might have been Pal Joey and DJ Doc and Manager Mo and ICU, because after all those guys were gone, his music is all whack now. But that's just one example. We could go every each and every legend, except for maybe Large Professor and a few others like Phil Most Chill and Dulio.
Hey, man. Shout out to Large. That's my boy, man.
Yeah.
This is my boy, man, yeah. Large.
You're out of the country. You're in France right now?
Well, no, I was in Spain for about 5.5 years. Right now, physically, I'm in Costa Rica. Why? Because I'm finna go and I got a house in Baja California with my family. And so I'm just waiting to get I got my visa approved. I just got to get my passport stamped. And then I'm moving on to Rosarito in Baja California. But yeah, there's this whole immigration shit, especially with Trump in the office. It made it a nightmare to get back, you know. And but I can't complain, man. People got it way worse, this whole COVID shit. But I'm gonna tell you, that galvanized me. Let me give you something that I'm gonna get onto this 846 so I can break it down, because I was in Spain, okay, and they murdered George Floyd, right? We all saw it. It was crazy. The shit brought me to tears, okay? And the first thing I did as a B-boy, I went to the music, because I couldn't be there with my sons. My son, like I said, he was 24. He just turned 25. My other son is 21. And, you know, as people of color, black people, and, you know, how the police just come at us, that shit had me freaked out. I couldn't protest or anything. So what I did is I took it to the pen. And so I wrote Beethoven, Opus 846. I sampled Beethoven. I wasn't planning on it. It wasn't something like, hey, I just want to do something different and sample classical. It just went that way because his seventh movement is out of control. And I sampled the opus in the middle. And I called it Opus 846 because of the 8 minutes and 46 seconds they put on his neck. Now I can tell you right now, and you can pull the MP3 off of the link I just sent you off YouTube. I know you know how to do that, my dude.
Oh, for sure.
And
got you.
Basically, it's just speaking to. It was my contribution to the movement, and the video is on YouTube. The song is on Spotify.
We're gonna rock
it's
it.
It's on. And I've been getting a lot of good response from it. It definitely got it out of my system. And like I said, I'm telling the fans and I'm telling you, because we're talking about consistency of dopeness when it comes to hip-hop. I know that means the world to you. It means the world to me. And I'm willing to put it to the test. I want people to let me know. And I haven't had not one thumbs down. Not one. And it just came out October 1st. And that's all that matters to me. I don't move the needle. Nobody can buy me. That's why when it comes to my fans and to the fans out there of real hip-hop, you can depend on Jay Swift. When it comes to this, I'm not dwelling on the Pharcyde. I'm not trying to recreate the Pharcyde. You can never recreate that. We was young. We had fun. I love them cats. They're doing their own thing. I'm doing my thing.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because let me talk some AC the PD talk to you about the Pharcyde thing a little bit. All right, feel free to answer from the heart. Be as honest and as candid as you want to be. You know, we're not trying to pry too much out of you, but obviously,
man, when it comes to hip hop, I'm an open book, bro.
You know, I look behind the scenes at a lot of different artists, and albums, and entities, legacies, and I know there's people behind the scenes that are really responsible for the quality of sound that came out of those artists. You know, and a lot of those artists, when they stopped messing with those people, that their sound went down the drain. So with the Pharcyde, that's a great example, my brother. Like, now I really am not one of those Pharcyde fans who thinks that the second album was a letdown or was a disappointment. I love the second album, but the first album is obviously untouchable. You know, incomparable. You know, you can be as good as the best, but you can't be better. You can be as great as that album, but you can't be greater than that. And it's definitely, you know, so obviously, if somebody was to say, you know, that's their favorite hip hop album of all time, you can't argue with that. You know, it's as great as any album in hip hop history, just about. You know, pretty much. You know, but without you, the consistency is not nearly. I mean, it's not just the consistency, man. It's just like, bro, the soul, the spirit, it's not there. What is your? I want to know what what is your relationship like with Smooch?
With Smooch, I mean, look, he is a guy that they chose to have represent them, manage them. He didn't play any kind of role. The only role that he played when I was in the band, because I was in the band and the label wanted to sign me. Just some history so people know. They offered to sign me with the band, and I said no, because I already had my production company, Fathouse, that I had already started, and I was like, look, I will produce, and I was in line to produce 3 albums and then see where it goes from there. I taught Fat Lip, I taught Romai. I don't call him that B Brown. I can't. He might as well be Bobby Brown. I'm not calling any man by the name that he's chosen. I just can't do it. I'm not a homophobe or any of that, but I just know that Romai is a dope ass name. Imani, he wants to be Uncle Imani. That's kind of pedophilic to me, but whatever. I'm not into that. They can do what they want to, because they just became something that we weren't. We rolled around in LA as a crew. It was a dance crew. They danced for Candyman. I don't know if cats know about Candyman, knocking boots and all that shit back in the day.
Yeah, we hated that shit.
You know what I'm saying, my nigga?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But that was what they had to do. Hip-hop, it was a lot of different,
yeah, but,
it was a lot of different positions you could do. You could break. You could dance behind cats, backup dancers.
Yeah,
you could be a hype man.
We're the type of people.
You could do the graffiti.
We're the type of people that think that, Jermaine Dupri should have stuck to dancing.
Yeah, like that. And then here's another thing, and it's interesting that you mentioned him. Okay, I had every position. I had all the authority to get on Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde and rap on it. I was freestyling with them cats. What we used to do, first of all, I was with Reggie Andrews. He was my manager, SEU, South Central Unit. That was his production company. And one day I just started having them come over because we would hang out. And he was like, who is these cats? I was like, well, this guy, he's raps. And this was before Fat Lip. He was Jammer D, and I saw him at a showcase, and I was with my manager, Reggie, and I said, that guy has it. Next thing you know, I went to this club called Hollywood Live, which is where they do the Jimmy Kimmel show. And then I saw him, and then I saw him at Paradise 24, and I approached him. I said, hey, man, my name is Jay Swift, and I want to produce you. And he didn't know who I was, but fortunately, his girlfriend, some girl was dating one of the cats I was producing at SCU, and he said, yeah, I went to his house, he had all these lights. So next thing you know, Fat Lip came over on a bus to my house, and he laid down this song called Coming Up Tough. He brought the record, I remember it was Give It Up and Turn It Loose.
Can we hear it?
Record, the vinyl.
Can we hear that record?
He said, no, that's gone. I can tell you where you can hear the rhyme though. He rapped it on the Wascals. Dream and Imaginate. It's an 8-minute song. It's in 2 parts. He rapped on Imaginate, and that's the verse, the very first verse that he came with that vinyl. And he gave me that vinyl, and in 10 minutes I flipped it into a beat. And then he in 10 minutes laid his verse. And me and him, that was when we linked, and it was tight. Next thing you know, I started hanging out. Roma and Imani were dancers. They weren't even rapping yet, okay? And there's a reason why I'm saying this, because I'm going to lay some history down with you, okay? Trey was rapping and Fat Lip was rapping. Now, when you listen to that album, it's evident that Trey and Fat Lip are the lyrical linchpins of that record. Imani and Romai, they started rapping a year and a half before we got our deal. And at one point, Romai was like, I don't know if I can do this. I said, man, look, dude, just enjoy this. Hip-hop is fun. One thing I'll tell you, and I'll never forget, and KRS said this, and he said this on the album where he's at the window with the Malcolm X thing, you know.
Yeah.
By any means necessary. Right. And he says, Look, I'm not Superman because anybody can or should be able to rock a turntable, grab the mic, plug it in, and begin. So I say to these cats, let's just enjoy this and have fun, and the rhymes will come after. Because cats have asked me, interviewers, magazines, rap pages, this, that, and the other, what's your formula? And I told them, my formula is love and fun. If I'm vibing with you and I'm having fun, and you love hip hop, we're gonna do magic. So it got to a point after we finished the first album, before that album was finished, actually. And I'm gonna give you another caveat, because on the back cover of the Pharcyde album, Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde, all of the songs are outlined in purple. There's a big poem. I don't know if you looked at it. But it goes down the line and it goes all the way to Return of the B-Boy. But then there's one more. It says, My Man. That's the last one. Before that song even got done, suddenly they wanted to take my production name and put Produced by the Pharcyde and Jay Swift. And I just rejected that. Right out. And that's where all the fun had died. Because suddenly they were looking at the fact that I got paid $50,000 and they had to split $50,000. And suddenly they wanted to be the producers. And that's not how it works.
Right.
I stand for hip-hop. I stand for B-boys. And I was not going to stand for that. So Mike Ross, the label owner, he comes over there in a fever because I was like, fuck these niggas and fuck all this. And he's, look, you got to finish this album. And I was under contract to finish it. So what did I do? I called my man L.A.J. It's my homeboy. And down with him, he used to produce the Good Girls, in the New Jack days. I did my own, set of New Jack stuff, and I love New Jack. I don't care what anybody says. Of course, I'm not Teddy Riley, and neither was L.A.J., but he made his mark. But I knew that me and him as teenagers, he was 2 years older than me, but I knew the cat, I could rely on him to just bring in, be the anchor. And he came in and did Other Fish. And then the album was complete. But my man was never finished. I have it, and I'm going to release it on Fathouse. Just letting that be known right now. We're going to stay in touch, my man. And I'm talking about, this is 2021 January. It's actually what I call it is the alternate ending to Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde.
Wow.
And it will be released. Yeah.
I want to world premiere it. I want to world premiere it.
No, man, I'm gonna get it to you, my man.
Yes.
You in the trenches, and I'm gonna make sure that January 21, 2021, you're getting it.
You heard it first. You heard it here first.
You and other cats. It's a select bunch of cats that I got that I'm like, you gonna drop that, you know what I mean, for the people, because they need it.
Another world premiere.
You know what I mean?
You heard it first here. All right, one more, let's get back to Smooch a little bit. Now, I just want to say this as something I've always observed about that situation. If I was the Pharcyde's manager, I would covet you. I would be like, yo, this is our producer right here. This is our fucking DJ, our producer. This is the captain of our ship. We can't. This is the backbone of the group right here. Right. Why is Smooch not like that with you? What's wrong? What's wrong with that man? Why is he not making sure that you are the core of the group? Why is he acting? Why? How are you not included on that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: Smooch has no power. I'll tell you right now, the power is in Romai, B Brown. You might as well call him Bobby Brown, because you know what the name he goes by. I won't say it, but B Brown and Imani took it on, and Romai, because that's Romai. B Brown is Romai, and he took it upon himself, and this is the insane part. We don't talk about biting, right? And now, I've not spoken about this. I'm letting you know some shit that only L.A.J., when we were touring, we're doing the Bizarre Ride thing, he spoke on it because he was tired of it. Romai has been running around for the last 20 years claiming that he produced Passing Me By. And this is his story, and I quote, even an okay player, he says, Jay Swift was stingy with the MPC. So I hid in the crawl space. And when he wasn't there, I came out and magically produced the beat. Okay, now let's say he did, okay? Now this is exclusive. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but I feel your vibe, my man. And you know, from your LA, your history and stuff.
Yes.
I relate to you. You feel me? So I feel like if anybody's going to get this scoop, it's going to be you.
Thank you.
So this cat says that he snuck down and produced the beat. Okay, now let's say that's true. That means you had to sneak it past the label. You had to sneak it past the engineers. You had to sneak it past the band. And me in the studio, knowing that I made that beat and somehow get it all the way to the label copy, to the credits, and all this. Now, that's beyond biting. I can't even wrap my head around the fact that a man would claim something that he knows goddamn well he didn't do. Okay? Now, John, LAJ, who's a John, I'm John too. I'm John Martinez. You know, LAJ, John Barnes. He made it clear, we were in Miami, I'll never forget it. He said, look, let me make this clear right now. I was there because he was working on another album. And I went to Larrabee in Hollywood. And I said, John, check this beat out. And he was working on a beat with skull snaps. And you know that drums, you know, like everybody's using Premiere, using it, take it personal.
I know Dulio. I brought Dulio to LA.
Word. So you know what time it is.
I brought Dulio to LA for his first show.
Wow. Well, that's big. So here's the thing. So he said, I had a beat I was working with skull snaps, and when I heard Jay come in with that beat, I let it go. Jay Swift absolutely produced that beat. So here's the problem. It's not Smooch Cat. The problem is I only operate on love. I have turned down projects. I'm talking about stars. I won't even go into their names. To my detriment. Where some people told me, and everybody knows, I made my ass very available because that's the world we live in. I had a problem with crack cocaine. All right, I lost my studio. I lost the stuff. But I said one thing: I will never do a record unless I can do it and enjoy it and have fun with cats. Because what am I going to leave? What's my legacy? My legacy to you and to the other cats is, this is a fun thing. And this thing is designed the only way that we get good hip-hop, even to this day. And somebody can argue with me, but I've been around a lot of cats. And it's from enjoying yourself and not doing it for the money or the bitches or the fucking fame or the props or biting or any of that. Those are principles that I stand behind. And now I'm at a point where it paid off. Because what I did with my new release, I'm very comfortable with. And I don't mean just comfortable with, I mean, I love it. And I challenge anyone to put it to the test. Put on, I'll tell you like this, we're not even talking about 846. Put on Negro Knievel. Throw on the whole album. Throw on Bizarre Ride. Either order. That one first or my 2018 release. It don't matter. What you will find is that soul, that fun, that I'm transmitting.
How much music do you have in the vaults? How much music do you have in the vaults that we never heard?
Oh man, I'd say about.
How many albums?
Oh man, probably like close. I'd say I got like about close to 5 albums, and just on singles, close to about 40, 45.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Right on.
Yeah.
Check this out.
That'll be coming out. But my priority right now is I did my thing with Negro Knievel, and people say to me, hey, well, it's not, you didn't chart. I don't care about charts. I never got into this for charts.
We already know that.
I didn't do anything I did on
we love that.
Right
we love that about you. We don't need no explanation about that. We love that about you. We embrace. That's why you're here right now, because you don't care about the charts. We played the album. We like it. We feel the love in it. We appreciate it, and that's why you're here today, because and we're not here to tell you anything bad about your new music. We love your new music. We played it. We put it in the mix.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
It's got to stand on its own.
Did you hear the mix?
Know what I mean?
Did you hear the mix we played? We put your music in?
No, I need to send me the link. I need to have that because, I'm in Costa Rica. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with immigration, but everything is turning out lovely. But I'm going to stay in contact with you. I'm going to shoot you my email off the air. You know what I'm saying? Got you.
No problem. That's good. All right, let me ask you a few more questions here before we let you go. From my listeners, and first of all, big shout out to Spinz for hooking this up. Fathouse Records, legendary rap meister, Oxnard legend, rap god, fucking politician. He told me not to forget to ask you about the Russell Simmons meeting.
Russell?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that was big. I had the Wascals. That's another album y'all want to check out. Wascals' greatest hits. Be careful what you wish for. Because look, here's the thing. And I'm gonna say this to all the big boys, big girls out there, man. Look, they call it spelling for a reason. Because it says in the word, and I'm just get theological a minute. In the beginning there was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God. Now I'll take it back to now, 21st century. What I'm saying is, what we say matters. I'll give you an example that's outside of me, but one of my West Coast. I'm an Eazy-E fan. I'm a DOC fan. I'm a Dr. Dre fan. I'm going to tell you right now. When he did that album, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, I saw that cover. I said, oh, my God. And I'm thankful that he's much better. But it's something spooky. Whatever we say will come into existence. Now, that being said, like Machiavelli, he's on the cross. I mean, it's just, I'll give you my example, Wascals. We said, hey, most cats, their first album is their best album. I can say for a fact, Bizarre Ride, So, we said, let's call our album Wascals' Greatest Hits. It was the first and the last album. That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here to tell y'all, if y'all really want to know, when I come hot off the heels off Bizarre Ride, check out Wascals' Greatest Hits. It's the first Fathouse official release. Fathouse Delicious Vinyl, my joint venture with them, and I'm telling you, look, if it doesn't send chills down my spine, I don't even mix it. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
I don't even mix it.
I'm totally the same way. I'm like, when people come to me, they're like, how much for studio time? I'm like, if you're my homie, like $40 an hour. But if I don't like the music, at least $200 an hour, at least.
That part. There you go.
Yes.
Because they got to pay for that shit, because you're going to pay for it. Because that part is business. But if it's love and you feeling it, my nigga, I think you would even be like, you know what? I'll cover you on the cost because it's so dope.
Let me take this lateral from you and say, but that's where the problem starts. There's no heart. It's all game. You know what I'm saying? The people are the world infects cultures and arts the same way it infects anything else, and especially fine arts like martial arts and jazz and hip hop. They all get raped. They all get infected with the mental, physical, and spiritual health of society. We are the reflect.
And the monetary gain. The monetary gain. They think they're gonna make it because if we offer you this money, but you're selling your soul.
Yeah.
And I've never sold my soul once. I can say that. I can go to the grave right now and tell you, I turned down. I can tell you that I got two sons and I love them. And they're grown men now. But my relationship with their mother was brought to a close because she's a 9-to-5er. I'm not. I'm a true artisan. And I was not going to compromise. She couldn't understand it. And God bless her because she's a great mother. She couldn't understand how I could turn down $25,000, $50,000. Even, I don't care. When it got real hard, $10,000, $5,000. What are you doing? I can't do it. Now, 29 years later, I think she understands why.
Yeah, my son's mom and me split up when he was young too, in the same kind of fashion, in the same kind of pretenses, and she ended up telling him that she wishes she would have stuck it out with me after he grew up. So, time tells when you're consistent and you're true to what you love to do, and you don't let nothing sidetrack or distract you or change you. Karma comes back. What goes around comes around.
Yeah. Right, and we got our dust due payment because we stuck to this art, man. That's why you're right now sitting here chopping it up with me, and I'm keeping it moving.
Thank you.
And I depend on you, cats like you, to report it real. Just like we can disagree because we b-boys and we got our differences. We got you had your relationship with Karis, I got my relationship. I have my different views, but one thing we both stand for is real hip hop. And we'll never stop.
What we have in common is pretty crazy because I'm the same way in a lot of ways. I won't let the industry change my sound or infect me. I don't even care about it. All I care about, because I already know I already died twice. So all I care about is how I'm going to be remembered when I'm gone. And I don't want to waste 1 minute doing anything I don't want to be remembered for. And that's
exactly.
And I've been this way since 1997. I said I'm not going back to work for anybody ever again. I'll work with people who want to work with me, and I'm not working for nobody, and nobody's got to work for me. And I'm gonna make it, or I'm gonna die trying. And so and back then I was selling weed, and I would have been remembered for selling weed back then. And I was like, nah, I wasn't put here to be remembered for selling weed. I was put here to be remembered for what I've been doing all my life. And this is what I've been doing all my life. So I'm just gonna, and there's a whole lot of suckers getting paid to what I've been doing, to do what I've been doing all my life. So why should I not be doing this and getting paid for it? So that's it. That's
exactly.
It's been a wrap ever since 1990.
It's called standing your ground, my man.
Yeah,
it's called standing your ground, man. Standing on your square.
Well, there was all my favorite DJs, all my favorite artists were falling off. Kid Free, Red Alert, Tony Touch. I would go to the House of Blues to see my favorite legends. And these guys would be DJing. They would be the house DJ for the night, and they would be playing radio rap music. The shit that they were known not for spinning, the shit that they're legendary for not doing. They were doing that shit. And I try to talk to them about it, and it'd be like I'm speaking a foreign language. And then the young cats the young sucker DJs who are playing 93 Till Infinity, MCs Act Like They Don't Know, Come Clean, 93 Till or Scenario, or what was that? Try by 12. They got nothing. They can't find nothing else to play, but they play the same records that all the other DJs play. I would go to them and I would try to tell them that's not hip hop, but they don't understand. They don't get it. So I started putting out mixes, and now I have over 2,000 mixes, and I'm about to do a new one tonight, right now, after we get off the phone. And I just know that there's a whole world of great music that ain't on the radio. So I turned the radio off in 1993 when they started to use the word hip hop instead of saying rap all the time. When they stopped avoiding the word rap and started to say hip hop, I said, nah, I'm never going back. It's over. The mass media was only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And not soon after that, MTV Raps got worse. Rap City got worse. Everything got worse. And I'm like, yeah, but hip hop's only getting better. I was finding the good shit, but it wasn't in the mass media at all, and it wasn't even on the underground scene. The underground scene was whack too. 99% of the underground scene was whack too. People trying to be underground. I'm like, yo, if you say you're underground and want to be underground, then you ain't even doing it. You're faking it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
if you ain't taking no risks, because hip hop is all about taking risks and not kowtowing and following the corporations, because they're the ones. That's the theme on my Negro Knievel album. It's like we battling these corporations, and they trying to slam us down. on that note, let me just say this. I brought my man LAJ back because I believe if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This man, he came through with other fish. He came through for me not for one, but two cuts on Negro Knievel. And I got to speak on it. Wild Animal featuring I Killed from Jurassic 5. You know what I mean? K-Natural. And Take It to the Forehead featuring Razzcast and Montage 1. And those are LAJ productions. And he came through in spectacular fashion.
Respect.
I hope you include those.
Respect.
And like I said,
shout out LAJ.
I'm gonna give you, shout out to LAJ, my nigga from Los Angeles. That's my boy John Barnes. And after we get off this, I'm gonna give you my Gmail. Okay. Because I want to get a link to this show and some of your gems. Shoot me some, my nigga.
Yeah. I'm acthepd.bandcamp, brother. You'll find a whole catalog there that will blow your mind. You'll be like, what the fuck? Trust me. Bug out on it.
Directly to me on my Gmail because you know what I'm saying.
I got you.
After that, I'm gonna be able to find you. But I definitely want to get this one because I want to share it with my young ones, with my soldiers.
All right. Do you have any time for? Do you have any time for any more questions?
Do I have yet?
All right. Cool. All right. Yeah. Where do we leave off about the Russell Simmons meeting?
Okay, well, Russell Simmons, this is what happened, right? I was in New York, Pharcyde blowing up, you know what I mean? And Def Jam, they wanted to meet with me. They wanted to do a thing. They knew I had my production company going on. So I met with Russell Simmons. You know, he has a few restaurants in Manhattan, but I met with him at this one in particular, and he was giving me props, you know, for the Pharcyde. And then I was there, and Leor Cohen was there, and I ended up rolling out with Leor Cohen after I met Russell. It was a brief meeting because, you know, Russell, he's Russell. He had a lot of things going on, but he definitely gave me my props. But what happened is I went off with Leor Cohen, and we're driving through Central Park, and it's the winter, man. It snowed in, but, you know, you can drive through. I was listening to the Wascals greatest hits. He's like, man, we're going to do this. It's going to be big. So I get back to Los Angeles, and I talk to the group, and the group is split. Two of them want to roll with Russell. He said, how much is your budget? I said, about $225,000. Oh, man, we'll buy that out in a heartbeat. Of course, Def Jam. The other two wanted to roll with Paul Stewart, and I'm not into shitting on him because I'm not shitting on him. He can take it any kind of way he wants to. But he managed the Pharcyde. And so it was this conflict. The Pharcyde, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was the group pushing him to split and splinter Wascal, but he represented the other two cats. So then,
what are the names of all? What are the names of all the Wascals?
Okay, it was ALB, which is Kamal Holloway, and it was Buckwheat, which is Rashawn Jackson, and then it was Spinanky, which is Jamel Williams, and then it was St. Amy, which is Marcus Robinson, and so Spanky and St. Amy went with me. Alfie and Buckwheat went with Paul Stewart, so that stopped there. Years later, I didn't have no other rappers. Everything had collapsed. I just make beats, and you know how it is when you make beats. You ain't got nobody around. If you love hip-hop, you're going to start freestyling. So I just evolved on my own. And I had a meeting with Russell Simmons, and Russell Simmons basically threw my tape out the window. Like, oh, now you want to be down. Like, after all this time. What am I going to say? I'm kind of glad he did throw it out the window, because here's the thing about Jermaine Dupri, just to bring it full circle. I could have done the thing that he did. He was rapping on all these cats' albums and stuff, knowing that he wasn't developed. And I'm here to tell you, I respect Jermaine Dupri as a businessman, And as a musician, I respect him. I know who his father was. I know he's a consummate talent. But
I would say his talent is in dancing. And I never heard no good music coming from that man.
Well, yeah. Well,
not one song I ever want to hear again.
But there's an audience. I'm just gonna put it out like this. I had that point of view, but I think I got to the point where, look, there's all kinds of levels of music. There's people that play. I'm at this hotel in Costa Rica. There's a band downstairs, and they're playing. Believe it or not, they're playing some Biggie Smalls all the way to the Beach Boys. But it's watered down. But they got families, they got kids, they got wives, and they're doing things that I wouldn't do. But there's a slot like Prince. I did a remix of Prince, and there's always someone. There's someone who's gonna do the things that you aren't willing to do. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they don't have the level of conciseness and expertise and genius that you have. And in order to hold down the mantle of being true, like we're speaking of hip hop, you're gonna look at them, and that causes. I have resentment for them kind of cats, but I'll kind of let that go now because, hey, the world needs those kind of cats.
Yeah, I don't resent them, but they resent me. I don't resent them, but they resent me for not conforming to what they're doing.
Yeah, I've been through it myself, brother. Well, I'll tell you this. Hey,
I just avoid them. I just avoid it, but they resent me because I avoid it.
Yeah, no, but I do too. In my heart, they'll never see me doing that shit. But I won't look at them like I used to and say, you know what? They can't help it. And like I look at this, I take it a little bit more relaxed now. And now that I'm more mature, and I'm like, you know what? These people are like I was just downstairs yesterday, man. These people are going from Biggie to the Beach Boys, and they don't know the difference, and they need music.
All right.
So it's kind of like there's a if you throw a stone in the water, the immediate ripples are big. That's hip hop. The outer skirts, like they say, the foam and the fluff, is those cats. So those cats are always going to be around. But don't let you or me, us, and all the other B-boys and B-girls that listen to this, ever think that makes your stuff any less because you're not making what they're making. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Because guess what? We get a bigger reward even though we had to go through the struggles that you spoke on and that I spoke on. But there's a prize in that. Some people aren't willing to do that. It's like Mount Everest. See, that nigga, when you get to it's 15,000 feet up. When you get to 9,000 feet, most of them cats cannot climb that high. But me and you, we're willing to climb that high. We're willing to go all the way to the top. Which the top, there's less oxygen. There's nobody there. You're on your own. Once you get up there, I know what it feels like. Because when we got our deal for Bizarre Ride, I'm going to tell you right now. It was 92. I was into Gangstar. I was into Showbiz and AG. I was into LL still. I was into, Molly Mall. He's the greatest of all time. And I told myself, I ain't having no album fillers. And I can tell you, speaking to Evil D, to Premier, and all them cats, as I was, trekking from East to West Coast, that we all felt the same. That's why now they call the 90s the golden era. I remember in 2000 with Pharrell, and God bless Pharrell because he's dope. He's a genius. I don't care. Nobody can tell me shit about that.
I never heard nothing good from him.
Nah, man, trust me. Dig in a little deeper.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Me and you, I love you, cat. You're something else. Hey, man, nobody can tell me that you aren't dead set on real hip hop. That's real.
I'm so dead set on it that I don't even care about the word hip hop. All I care about is good new music. music that I never heard that makes me move. If it moves me and I never heard it, when I put a mix together with a whole bunch of music that I never heard before, and it all makes me move, that's hip hop to me. None of the music can be hip hop. All the genres in the whole mix could be nothing but not hip hop music, but it's all very hip hop when I'm done with it because that's the way I mix it.
Exactly. That part right there. Because all you gotta do is be dope. I just was downstairs singing this thing called Love, which is an Elvis song, but it was covered by Queen. And I was down there, and people was all in, and the chick was like, sing it again. That's hip-hop. It's just, hip-hop is just meaning what you're saying. Good music is dope. I think it's just dope.
All right,
dope is the key. Dope music.
To me, hip hop is when you hear something, see something, feel something that you never heard before, and it moves you in a way you've never been moved before, and it opens your minds to new realities that you never experienced before, and you never forget that moment. It defines a moment in your time that you never forget, but you never ever experience. It's fresh. It's undeniably original and undeniably amazing at the same time, and that's hip hop to me. It don't gotta be auditory. It can be visual. It can be conceptual. It can be sensational. But whatever it is, it's fresh. It ain't nothing. It ain't never stale, and it ain't never whack. The de-evolution of standards, to me, is always something that should be known as and be taught as universally common sense. Hip hop sense should be that the de-evolution of standards is the opposite of hip hop, always. But this
I agree with that. And on that note, I'll tell you this. J. Tobin 846. It is to me, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years. Look, it says chills down my spine. Rock it, my nigga.
We're gonna rock it right now, but a couple more questions. Tell us about what happened with LL Cool J's sneakers.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'll tell you right now, man. I was 14 years old. I'll never forget it, man. This was 1986. Okay. We're at World on Wheels, alright? And it's pouring rain. This is on Venice and San Vicente, which I'm telling you, that is South Central. It's the west side, but it's South Central, alright? So my brother was I went to Morningside High School. My brother did too. I wasn't even in high school. I was in junior high, but I didn't give a fuck about school. My dad was a musician. He was Cuban. Played salsa, and he told me and my brother, look, I don't give a fuck about high school. This is what I give a fuck about. Because he came from Cuba. He said, all I want you to do is know how to read, write, and count money. When I say read, I mean read music. Yes, I brought you here to the United States to learn English. But you gotta know music. You gotta know how to write. You know how to read contracts. You gotta know how to count money. He said all that shit is bullshit. So I was always with my brother and with the choir. So they had tickets. So it was the 4 cent D's. This is old school, my nigga. It was the 4 cent D's. Tender love. You remember?
Of course.
It was wonderful. It was the 4 cent D's. I believe it was the real Roxanne and LL Cool J. Okay? Now, LL Cool J came out. And now I'm going to tell you about Venice. That was the Venice Crips. That was their hood right there. The 20s was down the street, the Bloods. But this night, it was full of Crips. I'm talking about when I came in there, it was a sea of blue. This is a roller rink, right? Oh, man, it was all... LL Cool J came out in a whole red sweatsuit. Those Crips lost their minds. They was like, hey, cub, get that nigga, man. We're going to shoot that nigga, cub. The security, it was an uproar. The security was like, man, they made that nigga go backstage, right? Now, I just saw this rumor about LL, whether he was bald or not. I'm not going to tell you. All I know is that LL Cool J was in a red sweatsuit, a red filler suit, red filler shoes, and a Kango hat. They took him backstage. He came out. It was like 5 minutes later, he came out blue jeans and a white t-shirt, but he still had that Kango on. They was like, take that dead hat off, cuz. But when that nigga said, LL Cool J is hard, better than anybody out there, talk about music caused the savage beast, nigga, it made them niggas lose their minds. He took them over. Rock the bells. I mean, it was over. The beat was over.
Yeah, that's
my story with LL Cool J.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember I have a similar story with the Beastie Boys at the 87 Raising Hell tour. The crowd in San Bernardino.
Oh shit! Go ahead.
The crowd in San Bernardino tried to boo them off the stage because they didn't know who they were yet. And then when that Def Jam Rick Rubin bass came through the speakers, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the bass came through the speakers, when they did like Slow and Low, and the bass came through the speakers, it was over.
Yeah, nigga. And Paul Revere, my nigga.
Yeah.
Man, that's Rick Rubin. I'm gonna tell you a story about Rick Rubin. And we're gonna close it out on this. All right, Rick Rubin, right? You know he was Russell Simmons' partner. They stole their vinyl out of the motherfucking dorm, my nigga. So this cat, I meet Rick Rubin, okay? This is after Passing Me By was like getting played like 20 times a day all over the country. The world was just exploding. I meet with Tommy Boy, and then my lawyer says, Deaf American, because that was before he went to American Recording, wants to meet with you. I said, oh, is that right? It's fine. So I have a lunch with Rick Rubin and Dan Charnas. It's my man, little cat. And he knew my partner in my label. And so we sit down at this restaurant called Down Cheryl's in City restaurant and shit. We're over there and I'm in Hollywood Hills. And he said, so, what's your company's name? I said, Fathouse. He said, so what do you want for Fathouse? And I said, $1 million.
Right.
And my two partners, they almost choked on their food. But he said, well, what do you want it for? I said, well, I want $600,000 for operational costs. And I want $200,000 each for a budget for two groups. First group is the Jazzies and the Wascals. Because I was planning on moving them once again off of Delicious Fun. So he says, okay. So he offered me $800,000. Tommy Boy offered me $1.5 million. And I'm not going to say, I don't believe hindsight is 20/20, but I'm not going to go shoulda, coulda, woulda. I just know I rolled with Tommy Boy. Either if I rolled with Tommy Boy or Rick Rubin, it wouldn't have made a difference because I didn't have the business acumen as a 22-year-old to know how to handle my company. But I can tell you this much. Rick Rubin, he loved my material, and he's nothing. He ain't no joke. Rick Rubin is a genuine article. I still love him. I watch him turn into American Recordings with the Black Crows and all the stuff he did with Johnny Cash. And even some stuff, man, look, he is Rick Rubin for a reason. He loves real art. Shout out to Rick Rubin. That's all I gotta say.
Word, yeah, man. Have you ever heard of the Big Beat Showcase?
I'm not sure, bro.
You know who Easy Mike and King Gizmo are, though, right?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's their thing.
That was their radio show before they were known as the Dust Brothers. It was on KSPC.
Oh shit! There you go.
KSPC Claremont.
Now it all makes sense.
KSPC Claremont. I grew up in after my parents moved from Orange County to Fontana in '85. I met a kid out there named David Elkins who knew all the radio shows. Told me where all the radio shows were, and the Big B Showcase was the best one. Easy Mike and King Gizmo,
right.
And they used to play.
That makes sense. Now it all makes sense. That's a long time ago.
They used to play They used to play, not only did they have the most world premieres, exclusives, unreleased, not yet released music, they would also play original songs that they made, rapping on their own beats, production that never came out, demos from the Dust Brothers before they were known as the Dust Brothers. Amazing hip hop, amazing hip hop.
Mike Ross worked with them niggas too. Delicious Vinyl.
Yeah, but I have no tapes from those shows, but those shows contain original songs from those artists, those guys that were rapping on their own production before they were known by anybody, and the songs were fucking amazing music.
Yeah, see, that's the history that you got to witness, man, and I hope those tapes surface.
Yeah, they were the first place that anybody on the West Coast ever heard of artists like the Juice Crew, Eric B. and Rakim, and so forth. They broke everything. They had everything first, and they broke it. They had the hookup. They had the connections.
Word. Well, now that makes sense to me because cats like me and other cats, we also, K-Day. Yeah, I know you know.
Well, Saturday Night Fresh was my Big Beat Showcase before Big Beat Showcase.
Shit.
Yeah, I would borrow my dad's ghetto blaster and hook up the hanger, the clothes hanger, and put it out the window so I could get good reception because it wasn't.
Yeah, that's right.
I was in Stanton, so I was getting the signal from Stanton.
Hey.
So
there you go. But see, that's that true B-boy shit right there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
So I never. It was the late '90s when I realized that it was changing. Like all my favorite radio shows were falling off, and I got my name by calling the Wake Up Show and calling them out for falling off. That they were doing shit that they were known for not doing, and I was calling them out on it on a bi-weekly or basis, and they kind of shunned me at first, then they embraced me, then they acted like they didn't know me.
Well, look, here's the thing, man. That's what it's called when you stand your ground, when you stand on your square. That's why I can respect you, bro. And that's why I was like, hey, man, let's get down, man. I want to do this with this, man.
That's a lot of love. Spinz met me at a beat swap meet. I was playing my beats live at the event, and he rolled up and heard the beats, and it was like, can I rap? And it was like magic, bro. It was fucking dope as fuck.
Yeah, man. Well, that's great because see, all things happen for a reason, my nigga, and that's why we did this here. And I just gotta, like I said, much love, man, and continue stand on your square because that's what I'm doing. And to all the J Swift fans and Pharcyde fans, look, when it comes to what I contribute in Fathouse, it ain't gonna change. Check out J Tobin, Opus 846. My album Negro Knievel is available. It's been available since 2018. I ain't in no rush because real shit doesn't get quantified by corporate money. I don't fuck with that. I'm fucking with y'all. I'm fucking with every single person that listens to real shit, real shows, real B-boys like you. I'm totally 100%. I back y'all.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to give a big shout out and a thank you to the creator for you still being here today and sharing your story with us, and for you being alive to still be doing what you love to do and what you do the best. It's an honor and a blessing to meet you and to know you.
And God bless you also. And let me tell you something. My handle on Instagram is JSwiftBorderless because I'm borderless. Fuck the borders. That shit don't matter to me.
Right.
I'll be back in the States and check out. And hey, I'm going to give this for 2021 also because I already told you I'm dropping my man the alternate ending to Bizarre Ride to the Far Side, featuring J Swift, Slim Kid Trey, and Fat Lip, because that's who busted on it. Just so I'm just gonna put out full disclosure. And in March, I'll be debuting the 40-Year-Old B-Boy. That's my next album.
All right, we can't wait to hear that. We want to know who Dr. Mo is too. In the next time we have a conversation with you, and I definitely want to finish chopping it up with you about the illusion and the deception that is the United Snakes Politrix television show. The shit they show us on TV versus what's really going on. I don't believe Trump has anything to do with anything that that's really going on. I believe he's just a decoy for us to be distracted by, to keep our attention away from real pro-action, any sort of real, actual pro-action. I believe that Trump is the bait, and I believe it's obvious. I can't believe that people don't see that nobody would put this man in charge of anything, especially a government. So he's obviously not really the president. The president is obviously not really the president. Donald Trump is not doing anything that they say give him any blame or credit for. He is simply saying, hey, use me. I'll be the next fall guy for you.
And I'll tell you one thing about Obama, and here's the thing, and this is, because to me it's like an onion. There's always another layer, okay? And I can tell you right this, under the Obama administration, cats like me got deported, okay? Now let me tell you something. Joe Biden, he had to do with the crime bill. The crime bill is the reason that I got deported over a tiny little piece of dope. But that's a whole nother show, all right?
But yeah, so I'm saying that Trump is not a piece of the puzzle. He's completely a decoy. He's a distraction. He's a part of the soap opera.
Exactly.
So for us to even,
it's like a puppet. There's a puppet master, but we're gonna have to figure that out.
So So Obama was a pacifier. He was a pacifier for the people. Now, Trump is the storm after the calm, and now they're gonna have the calm after the storm here. But really, it's business as usual for Uncle Scam. Ain't nothing gonna be affected by what's going on in the view of the public in the White House. And really, we got to change the name of the White House. We have to change the song of the national anthem, and we have to change the spectrum of racism in the United States and take away whiteness. We have to rebuke and abandon whiteness and take white and black off the birth certificates, off the applications, and out of the language of the police department. If you're a police officer, you can't.
That's how you put people in the categories, and I agree with you. And I'm gonna tell you what I said in Jay Tobin. I said, "R.I.P. George Floyd. You got the word. Listen, we the human race. Why the fuck the racism? So saying what race are you is categorizing. So I agree with you, but I'm not really gonna get that political. But what I'll tell you, my nigga, is my manager is on the line. But I love chopping it up with you, brother. I'm gonna send you my Gmail right now because I want to see how you do your thing. I want to get some of the mixes, but I definitely want to get this show, man. That's all I ask.
Oh yeah,
I look forward to my sons,
done deal,
my young soldiers, and you stay in contact with me, brother, because we're gonna do some other things. Once like I told you, and look, remember I said this, man. When I drop my man, look at the back cover after we get off. Check out the back cover of Bizarre Ride and see if there's not an alternate, if there's not one more song outlined in purple. You're going to debut that along with a select few of DJs and radio personalities around the world.
World premiere. You'll hear it first right here. You heard it first from the man, the legend, far from a myth, still here to give us the gifts. He is Jay Swift. The one and only, never phony. Thank you, my brother.
All right, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, back at you. Thank you, and thanks, Spinz. Thank you, Spinz. Thank you very much, brother. Fathouse Records.
All right, peace.
Peace.